All right, well, hey everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing well over in your guys' neck of the woods, whether you're going virtual or in person. I know it's been a tough year for all of us, but we are ag teachers, we are tough, so that's all there is to it. Tillman asked me to do this workshop, and he left this sucker very open-ended because it was discussing about the FFA website, which if you guys have seen it before, it's it's a behemoth. So before we start, I just want to say, by the way, Shannon, what's my time limit on this?
I have an hour.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to try to wrap this up by 4:45, just so you all know, because I was told to give like the last 10 minutes for general questions for, I guess, Shannon. So
Sounds good.
But yeah, just so you know. But anyways, I'll start to share my screen and we can just get this party rolling. Alrighty, so anyways, as you all...
Should I? No.
Anyways, as you all should know, I am the National FFA Ag Teacher Ambassador for Montana. And as I explained before, it's just a program in which the National FFA selects teachers to essentially highlight their educational programs that they have. So first of all, if you have any specific questions throughout this whole presentation, because this is kind of going to be like a shooting from the hip, because like I said, this was a very open-ended presentation that Tillman asked me to do, and I tried to be a little more specific, so I sent out an email to some people, he said, who usually attended, and I only got one response last night, and it didn't have anything to do with the National FFA website, but I will answer that person's question towards the end of this too, because I think it's valuable information. But anyways, if you have any specific questions about the National FFA website that I'm unable to answer during this whole thing, please click on this link. You should have editing powers to type whatever question you may or may not have. And once I read your question, I will send your questions off to either Ambra or Sarah, who work on the National FFA staff over in Indianapolis. So you guys can put that on a different screen if you need to, or tab. And if you have any other specific questions, my cell number is 406-589-2659. I had to think about that. It's a brand new cell number, but you can also send me any text messages about any specific questions that you may or may not have. So with that, the National FFA website, as you all know, it can be a big treasure trove of information. Problem is with everybody, the trick is to learn how to find the stuff, right? So with that, let's explore. Okay, can everybody see my the National FFA website?
No.
All right, so I got a new share. There we go. Now, how about now?
Nope. There. Got it.
Good? Cool. All right. Okay, obviously you got these tabs up top. Well, actually, let's start with this. You got these tabs up top. If you haven't figured it out yet, because you didn't turn in your roster to Mr. Rose, this is where you click for that. Subscribe is for the New Horizons magazine, but everybody should know you get an automatic year subscription for your kids their first year doing it. And then a little trick that I learned, if you never tell them not to, they just keep sending them. So, you can have like 20 or 30 magazines sent. Shop goes to the FFA website. It's updated daily, or not the FFA website, the FFA shop website. It's updated daily with various apparel. And I got some people here for Christmas trees. So give me 1 second, guys. Give me like 5 minutes, because we're selling Christmas trees as a fundraiser. So like I said, give me 5 minutes. I'll be out or back. Sorry.
I will gladly field any questions if anybody has anything on CTE, pathways, Perkins. Anything I can help with?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We're selling Christmas trees. And of course, as some of you may know, the dang kid that's supposed to do them obviously hasn't showed up for his shift. So, all right, now I'm back. Can you all see that FFA screen again? Okay, cool. All right, so any questions on these top tabs? If you do, just yell it right now. All right, cool. All right, so if you go to the Explore FFA tab, you're gonna have I'm gonna do this. All right, you're gonna have 4 different categories. Oops. Get to know FFA, awards and competitive events, events and conferences, and programs and resources. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not going to go over all of it, okay? But like I said, if you do have any specific questions, please just write them on that Google Doc, and either I will write down the answer during the last 10 or 15 minutes during that Q&A session, or I will ask, my cohorts are a level or 2 above me, and they can answer them for, answer your questions. All right, so.
Is there a Google Doc link that should be in the chat or something?
Well, I shared it on that PowerPoint. Was everybody not able to get it? I'll go back really quick.
I don't think you
I'm just
can
gonna drop
click.
it in the chat because.
Oh, do I have to copy this?
Yeah, because they won't be able to click the link.
That's stupid. I hate. Okay, 1 second. No. Screen has yeah. All right. Let me get this sucker actually done so we can do that. Okay. The funny part is I'm doing a talk about something techie, and I'm not the most techie person.
That's what you have me for, so I can remind you to fix things.
All right. There we go. I did it right.
Perfect. Thank
Boom.
you.
Cool. Okay. Back to this behemoth that has called a National FFA website. All right, so I'm going to start on the Get to Know FFA. If you really need some, basic PR information, click on About Us. If you need to understand the leadership structure, click on that. But one thing that if you attend National FFA that I love to do with my kids, especially after National FFA, is click on this chapter locator. Okay, and what it's going to do is pull up a screen just like this. And so what I do after every National FFA convention, right, because I want my kids to be social and whatnot, I tell them they have to find 10, kids from 10 different states, right, and write down their chapter. Okay, now then what I do is, what I tell them is to search where those chapters are. And oh crud, I just realized what I did. Okay, let's just say, for example, I know that this chapter is located in Hill County, Tennessee. All right, and actually let's just do Missouri in this case. But what it does now in this area of Morgan Hill Oak FFA actually gives me directions. And as you can see, if I highlight over, maybe I need the full screen here. All right, so I'm highlighting over Morgan Hill Live FFA. And as you can see, it's that little bouncing S. But if I go to Gilroy FFA, now it's that little bouncing S. Watsonville is over here. And so what I do is I have my kids, right, find all these different spots, put them on a geographical paper map, and then they actually, present in front of the class the next week on where these kids were from, what kind of information they found about their state and general location. it's kind of a good, you know, little activity you can do in the classroom during that National FFA time. You know, increasing kids' social ability, also learning about new places and new cultures, societies, etc. Okay, so the other thing I thought was kind of cool to highlight was the FFA Video Center. Now, on the FFA Video Center, it has all the FFA videos that are archived, from Speak Ag Dialogues, which is kind of like roundtable about different agricultural topics, to CDE and LDEs that were recorded. But my favorite that I like to do during my speaking units are the keynote addresses. And my favorite one in particular, if this loads, and I already know where he's at, is the very last guy, Nick. And of course, you can click on these and you'll get this downloaded Vimeo video. And I play these videos depending on what kind of message I want my kids to hear. But also, you know, I have in these speaking units, I have them identify, you know, speaking techniques that each speaker has and which one they've done well and which one they haven't. A lot better for me to show these videos versus like politicians, just because of how, just because of how, you know, politics has been playing out, especially within the last few weeks. So any questions so far? Okay, nope. And for some reason, the exit, there we go. Exit button doesn't want to work. The other cool thing, this does provide lesson plans based on the individual videos as well. And as you can see, it puts you in this box, and then you can watch any of them that you want. And if I was to go to, oh no, I want to go to the last one. Oh shoot, he's not there anymore. Well, either way, if I wanted to click on, like for example, a Shia Booster and hers, you got a complete lesson plan. Tells you how long the video is, along with the standards that you would be hitting, the objectives, everything that you need to know in case, like for example, you're gone and you have a sub available. Something that could be pretty handy for anybody in this video chat to maneuver if needed. Excuse me, I actually caught a cold this weekend. No, it definitely was not the Rona. I got tested, but this cold has definitely been kicking my butt for sure. Oh, and besides the FFA Video Center, like I did in the last presentation about a month ago, was educator resources. And this is just a refresher for some of you, but you know, you have these tabs, and lesson plans is what I kind of went through last time, but you have a whole bunch of different lesson plans from middle school to high school curriculum. You have educational guides of different educational experiences. Like I said in my last presentation, I love doing the New Horizons lessons when I'm gone. And then, you know what? If you're looking for, you know, LDE or CDE resources, those are available as well. Some manuals and things like in that nature. The one new thing that the National FFA has been doing, especially after recent events with equality, is Ag Education for All. And as you can see, is essentially an online platform that the FFA is using to show the steps that they're doing about how the FFA is inclusive and how to include everybody within FFA. Now, if you guys get a chance, the second video of Onward Together, it does have Mark, who's our CEO of FFA, but it also has a guy by the name of Dr. Roger Cleveland is his last name. And I BS with this guy. He's a great guy to get to know. He's great on answering any question that you may or may not have. Anyways, they have a great little dialogue about, you know, equality within agricultural education and what are some of the things that we can do to be more inclusive within our programs if we need to. So any questions about this side of the links? Nope. Okay. For those of you that are looking for, resources on your CDEs or LDEs, when you go to awards and competitive events, just click on this and you will have all of them. Okay, they will go over all the rules, resources from years past for these events. Now, one thing I would like to highlight that is new and a lot of people don't know about yet is the FFA challenges. And so this is just a separate little link, something different that the National FFA is doing. But these are online contests that you can have your kids do, and they're all based on different topics and when they're due. You have an animal evaluation challenge that happened in November and actually technically ended on Monday, but today is Tuesday. So yeah, starting tomorrow, there's this one, which is a power structure and technology challenge. All these are virtual. You can do this as a class activity, something supplemental. It's definitely not something that's going to take or change or replace career development events or leadership development events, but it will help enrich those different events and, just more educational resources for you guys to use if you choose to use them. It's completely free. And so something that you guys might want to explore. Now, the other thing that is probably going to be particularly handy for all of you, especially with seniors right now, is the grant and scholarships link, which is located here. And so if you have any kids that need to apply for SAE grants or general community grants, or heck, maybe even scholarships, click on those links, and obviously you'll have to send them a code in order to do the National FFA scholarships. But honestly, a great resource. And those National FFA scholarships, these kids are just filling out a broad application. And then depending on where they fit, they apply to hundreds of different types of scholarships. And I've had kids that, has had as little as $250 scholarships to one kid who got one from Burlington National Railroad, a 4-year $12,000 scholarship. So they range in their monetary value. I think it's just important for kids to understand how to apply for different things. So it's something that that you guys may or may not want to consider. Did somebody ask a question? Sorry.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Okay, well, if someone did, I can't hardly hear you. My hearing sucks to begin with, and this cold definitely has not helped.
Sounded like they had questions about 4-year scholarships, but I'm not sure I caught all of it.
Oh, okay. Well, so like I said, they're depending on who's donating to the National FFA for scholarship money, right? They can dignify whether their scholarship is a 4-year deal, just a one-time deal, whatnot. And like I said, those applications are just general applications. They're not specific towards a 4-year. The example I gave was one of my students. His name was Drew Nelson. This was about 6 or 7 years ago. And it was just one of those scholarships that he, it just fit in that category that, it worked. And it was one of those unique deals. He's the only one that I've had so far that had that big of a scholarship, not only in monetary value, but length of time. But I do know those are available. But as far as like hitting them specifically, it doesn't really work like that. Though I will tell you, in the application process themselves, the kids do click on, certain links and check marks, and those check marks, dignify which area those kids are going to apply in, if that makes any sense. Okay. Next year, if we are in person, if you want any information about National FFA Convention Expo or to register, you would click on this link here. If you guys need any, fun activities to do during National FFA Week, and including virtual or COVID-friendly activities, they would be posted here. And then we have the 212 and 360 conferences. They're both going to be virtual this year. And you can click on these links. They're $10 for per kid. Excuse me. And pretty easy for kids to sign up on. Washington Leadership Conference, which has kind of been a popular state thing. I'll tell you right now, there is no information that came out about WLC yet, though we should get some information whether, what avenue they're going to hit with WLC by mid-January. So just to keep you guys, in the loop on that deal. Though, one thing I wanted to highlight a little bit was this new, it's called the Horizon Conference. In fact, I registered, I think 5 kids for this, but it's a conference where kids are going to be set up virtually. And it's going to happen January 9th through the 9th, 10th, and 9th through the 10th. And registration is still on. Just click here. It's designed for juniors and seniors. And what this conference is doing is actually hooking these juniors and seniors up with commodity and business leaders within those particular areas. There are 3 areas, and they're all, I believe one is entrepreneurial skills, animal science, and it's actually more specific than animal science, and I can't remember the third one off the top of my head. But anyways, you can register your kids for that. It's only $10, very cheap. Now, I will admit, though, the only pain in the butt part about it is if you register a kid, because I like to register like 4 or 5 at a time. I don't know about everybody else, but unfortunately, if you click on this, oh, shoot, of course I would have to log in. Well, I can do that really quick. You can only register 1 at a time. That's the only sucky part. So if you have like 6 or 7 kids, it's about a half-hour deal. Just so you all know. Okay. Oh, and if you do register kids for the Horizon conference, also another thing to pre-warn you: no POs. It's all online credit cards. So if you have access to a school credit card, you'll need it when you register. Okay.
So when are the 212 and the 360?
Well, I can click on one of those really quick, but
Those are similar content, I think, to the MLC and the leadership conferences that already go on in Montana.
yeah, they're very similar. Like I said, this year they're just online. Usually they're in regional places, which is kind of cool for these kids. Registration starts on January 4th and goes through August 30th of this coming summer. Same deal, $10 per person. And my philosophy is, if I have a kid who's interested in attending any of these scholarships, I'll sign them up, because I think it will look, better on a scholarship or a job application if they actually go. And so, those are the reasons why I sign them up for. But like I said, if there's any conference that the National FFA provides, this is where you find that information. Excuse me. All right. Programs and resources. Talks about Living to Serve grants. If you want to apply for that, this is where you click. Shoot. Blue. SCE for All, which would be here, but keep in mind, SCE for All is not a national FFA thing. That's NLLE. So keep that in mind. If you guys ever want to be a teacher ambassador, this is where you click on that link. Just so you know, teacher ambassadors have to apply, just like any other job, do an interview, just like any other job. And then the number of ambassadors that are selected are dependent upon the state and their FFA numbers. So luckily for Montana, we are allotted 1 selection. I believe there's like 30 or 40 different ambassadors. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to meet all of them in person because of the lovely COVID. But one thing I do want to highlight, and this will be the last thing I highlight before I open up for any questions, is the Blue Room, which happened at the last in-person National FFA convention. And essentially it has different lesson plans for different avenues of what they did. So for example, there was, and the blue room at National FFA convention was like, oh, it was like TED Talks. If any of you have watched TED Talks before, any of them, that's what it's kind of like, except in an FFA version. And you can click on all of these and they will show you the videos. The guy or gal gives a talk on their particular subject. In this case, it's the future of agriculture. Like a TED Talk, you have lesson plans in either doc or PDF that you can print off beforehand. And again, just like any other FFA lesson plan, they have standards, content, procedures, etc., etc. But also other links that the talk would connect as well. Very cool avenue to look at. I highly suggest looking at it. And there's a lot of those other avenues that this does as well. You can look at case studies, career exploration, you know, the videos, all of that. Okay. And news, if you don't get New Horizons magazine, this just goes over, you know, highlights big articles that came out of New Horizons. Keep in mind, New Horizons comes out quarterly, and you should be able to get them. Foundation is just the National FFA Foundation and their story. And of course, everybody should be familiar with your dashboard, which teachers and advisors, we would click on here. And if you do not remember what your username or password is, that would be a Jim Rose question on that. And I think that's about it that I can think of. I'm trying to get my screen to actually, so stop share. All right, so any questions that I can answer right now?
Will travel restrictions lift?
We'll find out because of these. I was actually talking to our LPS, our regional guy, by the way. That's Ben Meyer. And if you have any questions about National FFA, you can shoot him an email. He's our regional rep from the National FFA. He told me it's really dependent upon our new administration that's going to be rolling in January, and the COVID vaccines, and obviously individual states, which I think everybody kind of figured anyways to begin with. Any other questions? Okay. One thing I do want to highlight, and this was based on the email I sent yesterday and my response. If you're looking for any in-state up-to-date information, we do have a Google group. It's called Magnet. And if you're not a part of that, talk to Tillman. He'll get you all hooked up with that. I personally have all the email, you know, notifications. So anytime when somebody posts on Magnet, I get those emails. Gives me up-to-date information. So if you're looking for information about events, registration, that's where you go when those times come. And then most of everybody's, you know, has their registration done through judgingcard.com. Every chapter should have an account with that. And that's how you register for. And I can't remember what else the email was asking, but hopefully that answered those questions. I can't really remember. So yeah. Any other blockbuster questions that somebody may or may not have? I kind of sped through this really quick, and I do apologize, but I know time is precious.
Other questions in general? Anything that you guys want me to take back to Eric?
Oh, hey, Shannon, before you do that, just one thing I would like this this group to do is, if you guys could, and you have a smartphone, please be kind to me and take this quick little survey. It's super quick. It'll just ask, to rate me from 1 to 5, blah, blah, blah. I just ask that nobody put down like last time, this was a waste of time.
So JR, on your Google Doc too, I don't know if anyone else had this, but it's not open to share.
What?
I had to request permission for you to share it with me.
Oh
If
my
you want to check
gosh.
your email, you might have several folks that are trying to get
See,
into your Google Doc.
I told you I am not the most techie person.
I can help. I can walk you through if you need me to.
Well, give me a second. I'll do it. Phone. Here we go. There. Editor. Perfect. Who has access?
Anyone with the link?
Got it. Look at that.
And do you want them to be able to type things in? Then you need to.
Yeah, they can type in any specific questions that they may have thought of, tonight after this. Or anything. Well, I guess no one has asked me anything that stumped me yet. But if you do think of anything after this presentation that deals with the National FFA website, yeah, type your question on and then check it within 24 hours and I will type a response for you. All right.
Other questions, comments, anything you guys want to discuss? Anything I can help with?
This is a quiet group.
I'm telling you.
Could be the time of year too.
Definitely. That definitely does it for sure. How's everyone holding up? How we doing?
Good.
Yeah. How many of you are in person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have everybody as of last week.
And then I'm guessing the rest of you are remote or some type of hybrid.
We are in person and virtual at the same time with a full schedule.
Yeah. Makes it tough. Makes it tough for sure. I never
Yeah,
realized.
we're in person.
Go ahead, George.
But the students gotta log in if they're at home out sick or something.
Yeah.
Or if they choose to stay home for whatever reason.
Yeah, we got probably 15 or 20% of our kids at home.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Of course, the unfortunate thing is we don't really know at the state level, like unless we ask and we're in a meeting with you all, there's not a huge way for us to track who's doing what right now. So we get asked from time to time and we're like, well, we're pretty sure we've got a pretty even mixture across the board of those that are in person or doing virtual or doing a hybrid of. So it's interesting how some of the different hybrids are working too. So I think everyone's ready to look for some type of normal year next year. For sure. All right. Anything else, folks? It's a great opportunity. Anything to share? Burning questions? Anyone have their students try to burn a tape measure? Those of you that are on there's like 3 now Snapchats for the ag teachers, but you have to ask Caleb Igo about whether tape measures have metal in them or not. So
They're pretty funny. That's for sure.
yeah. I like to see shop catastrophe, well, minor shop catastrophe snaps through. Nobody gets injured. It's good. So. All right. Well, we'll give you 20 minutes of your day back, and thank you all. I will pass names and information along to Mr. Tillman and this recording back to him so that he can get it up for you all. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything, okay?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And the biggest piece of advice I can give about the National FFA website, just explore it. I barely touched the surface, honestly. I did. I barely touched it. I just highlighted a few things. But if you want to know more about it, just explore it. That probably would answer a question a lot easier than what I could do. But like I said, I'm always here to help if you need it.
Need all the information.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.